Hello everyone, my name is Michael and I am the Crafty Crocheter, and today I will be reviewing some crochet hooks that I have purchased recently and those that I already have on hand, and will test each one for several factors. Those factors will include how well the yarn stays on the hook, how easily the yarn moves along the shaft of the hook, how the hook grabs the yarn, and overall comfort level. I have a few favorites that I use all the time when I am working on crocheting projects. Of course, not everyone will agree with my assessment, and this will serve as a comparison. I will be using a size H hook and a worsted weight number 4 yarn during this review. Without further ado, let's get on to the review. Alright everyone, so here is the review. So for the yarn I'm using for the review, I am using the Red Heart Super Saver. It's a worsted weight number 4 yarn, and this is 100% acrylic, and the color I'm using is called Green Tones. I saw this at JoAnn's the other day when I was scoping out their liquidation sales, and I liked the color, so I decided to go with it. And so the first hook I want to review is the Boye standard aluminum crochet hook. Now this is the type of hook I used before I discovered the ergonomic hooks, which I feel are better for my hands, because if you work with this for a while, with these traditional hooks for a while, especially if you have problems with arthritis and so forth, then your hands are going to cramp up quite easily, and then your thumb will get fatigued from pressing down on the thumb rest for so long. So I'm going to go ahead and review this yarn. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to do a standard chain of 10, and then I'm going to do some simple single crochets along just to test it out. And that stays on the hook rather easily. I mean, it moves up and down the shaft easily as well. And then as far as grabbability, yes, I am coining the term grabbability. It grabs the hook rather easily. And I'm chaining 10 just for a comparison. And I should have my chain of 10. Alright, so I'm going to work this one row of single crochets with this hook, and to see a gauge as I review it. Okay, it grabs it easily. Okay, so far I'm not having any issues with comfort, but like I said, the comfort issue comes in whenever you work with this particular hook for long periods of time. Like back then when I was making granny squares for an Afghan, when I first started making granny square Afghans, my hands would get fatigued, so I had to take breaks. But again, you don't want to work too much anyway, overwork yourself when you're crocheting anyway. Okay, I'm grabbing some more yarn. So I mean, so far the yarn grabs easily, and the yarn stays on the hook quite well, moves along well, so I'm not seeing any issues with it sticking. I mean, right now, if you're doing short bursts of crocheting, the comfort level isn't terrible. It's just whenever you work with this hook for extended periods of time, that's when the comfort starts to diminish a bit. Alright, so that is the Boye hook. And then the next one I'm going to review, this one is from Yarnology. This is Hobby Lobby's brand. Again, this is an ergonomic hook. It's got a nice little grip on there. It's got the thumb rest, and the shaft is suitable for standard projects. So I'm going to go ahead and work with that. And I'm going to turn my work. And then again, that slides along the shaft easily. It stays on the hook without any issue, no sticking. So I'm going to go ahead and so he grabs it quite easily. Again, it's not sticking, it's not sliding, the yarn isn't falling off the hook. And with this particular hook, I find it that I can work for extended periods of time crocheting without feeling too much fatigue or hand cramps. And last one. Alright, sometimes that also the type of yarn, if it starts to break up, the fibers start to break apart a little bit, as with this yarn. But with the Yarnology, again, this is the ergonomic, and I particularly prefer this one over the standard aluminum hook because, again, it's got a bigger grip, and I have larger hands, so it's easily for me to grab, and it doesn't present with too much fatigue when it comes to my thumb and my hand. This next one, this is similar to the Yarnology one, but this is an offshoot that I found on Amazon. I'm not sure the name. It's just Ctcwsh. I'll include the description of all the hooks used in this video in the description so that you are aware of what they are. This came in a set of 9 hooks from Amazon. I think it was around $12 to $15 for the set, and it also included some yarn needles and some stitch markers. Again, this should work, and I use this particular hook a lot in my crocheting projects. And again, I'm going to work a row of single crochets. I'm going to turn this over, and again, the yarn moves up and down the shaft quite easily, and it grabs the yarn without any issue. I'm going to work this row. Oops. You see it. Right, sometimes the fault lies with the crocheter when you don't have a steady grip on the yarn. And again, I'm a bit of a tight crocheter, but I'm trying to not be so tight. Again, see the comfort level, that was quite easily for the comfort level. The yarn stayed on the shaft, it moves up and down the shaft easily, it's not falling off the hook, and then the hook grabs the yarn quite easily, so this is a good hook too. The next one, this one is a Shwakk, Shwakk, and this one it's an ergonomic hook. It's a size H. I also got this from Amazon. You see how it's slightly different in the grip versus from this one versus this one. It's a little bit more slender than the other one. Thumb rest here, and then I'm going to go ahead and start the row. Again, that slides up and down quite easily. And the handle's a little shorter versus the previous one, and it stays on the hook easily. And then I'm going to turn my work, and then let's see how it grabs the yarn, and grabs it easily. Grab it rather easily there. Let's see. Yeah, I have bigger hands, so this hook may not be suitable for people with larger hands, but if you have smaller hands, this will work for you. I don't use this one quite often as I do the previous two, but it serves its purpose. It's ergonomic. It's got a good handle on it. The yarn stays on the hook easily. I don't have any issues with it. The only issue I have with it is the handle is smaller than the other one, so this would be suitable for someone who has smaller hands. The next one, this is from Big Twist. This is JoAnn's brand, and what stood out to me about this one when I saw it was that the shaft and the hook looks like it's made of plastic versus the previous 4, which are made of aluminum. So I'm kind of curious of how this one's gonna work, because being plastic versus metal. So I'm gonna go ahead and and then And they got it engraved on the side too. I don't know how well you can see that on the screen, but it is engraved on the side. So I'm almost like, oh, it's like silk screened or something. It's not engraved. But the handle, again, it's a little small for someone who's got larger hands. I mean, thumb rest is adequate. It's got enough space for your thumb, and it slides okay up and down on the hook. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna see how it grips. Okay, it grips adequately. And go ahead and start. Okay, so it does its purpose. It grips the yarn fairly easily, and the yarn stays it stays on the hook without it sliding off, and doesn't make the yarn kind of ravel up. Well, I guess the plastic isn't too bad of a material for this hook. I was just thinking because I'm so used to using metal crochet hooks that it was going to be somewhat of a learning curve for me. Oops. That last stitch is proven to be a little difficult. You know, overall, this hook isn't terrible. It's not bad, but not my favorite, but it's not bad either. Like I said, the handle's kind of small. I'm used to a longer handle for ergonomic purposes. I mean, the shaft is a little longer. The shaft is a little longer than the ergonomic hook, so in itself, it's good for that purpose to see if you have a lot of loops on the hook. If you're doing like like bobble stitches or like pebble stitches, then this would serve quite well because it's got a longer shaft on it. But overall, the big twist, it's adequate. It's suitable. I may use this for future projects just to get the hang of it. This next one is from Susan Bates. This is a size H hook. It's got a small ergonomic handle. Oh, this is real small. It's a small ergonomic handle again. But I guess the thumb rest is up here. This is quite of a short shaft because you got the thumb rest right here, and then that's kind of a short shaft for a crochet hook. But again, Susan Bates is a well-known manufacturer of crochet hooks, and then this is an incline hook because it's slightly different from, say, this one. This is more of a rounded hook versus a more sharper point on the end with the Susan Bates. So I'm going to go ahead and work a couple stitches. Okay, so that, okay, and the shaft is quite short, so this would be suitable if you're basically doing single or double crochets on here, maybe triples, but other than that, more suitable for if the mass majority of your stitches in a project is single or double crochets, or even half double crochets. So I'm gonna go ahead and work. Okay, so it grabs it easily. It does grab it easily. And it does pull through, so the grabability is, get some more yarn here. The grabability is great. I'm not saying it was kind of great because more of the incline gives it more of a grip versus the other ones. But again, I'm not liking the fact that the shaft is so short on this hook, and that the handle is short. Yeah, I'm not really favoring this one at all. Yeah, I'm not really liking this one very much. I mean, I know a lot of you people who use Susan Bates, I mean, they swear by her brand, but for me, I just don't care for this one very much because, again, the handle is too short for me, and the thumb rest is way up on the shaft, and you don't really have any room to work with. And this last one is from Prym. This is an all-in-one piece. It's plastic, and I did use a Prym M size for one of my Afghans. And for me, it tended to stick on the hook, so it didn't slide as much. So again, this is an incline. See how it's kind of pointy, more pointed than the. I mean, so far it is staying on the hook is sliding up and down the hook easily, so the gripability is fine. It grabs the yarn fine. And let's see. And I'm using a little bit looser tension. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I'm kind of liking this one, but again, my experience with this brand, with my offshoot of the City Lights Afghan, was that it was sticking a lot and didn't slide down the shaft of the hook easily in between stitches. But I guess again, it could be because of the material, because this is an acrylic yarn versus the wool acrylic blend, so the wool could have caused it to stick a little bit. I mean, overall the handle, but with this there's no thumb rest, so I'm thinking the thumb rest is at this little ledge. But again, if you do that, then it's gonna jab right into your hand, especially if you have larger hands. But overall it serves a purpose. I would not use this on a regular basis. That's just my opinion. So I think if I had to put this back on here, if I had to break it down as far as which one was my favorite versus not so much, I would say my favorite would be, of course I use them a lot, so it's kind of more of a nepotism sort of deal. So my least favorite would be this one, of course, because of my past experiences with hand cramps and thumb fatigue. So I mean, a lot of people use them, so I'm not judging anyone who does. This is just my humble opinion, just my preference. And the Yarnology one and this one, they're almost similar because the same type of handle, same ergonomic design, same size of the shaft, but I tend to go between the two when I'm working on projects, especially if I'm using an H hook. This one, not so much because of the short handle. I mean, the shaft is pretty adequate. It's long. It's a long shaft but for me, it's just because the handle size is too small. I wouldn't. So I think it's a tie between these two. But of course, I use them a lot. So this one's gonna be dead last because I don't, because of the comfort level. So I think the ones with the shorter handles, like these two, the comfort level is not so much because it's going to jab into your hand, especially if you're holding it high up like this. It's going to jab into your hand. And this one also kind of goes into the side, but then I don't like this one because of the short shaft, so I would not use this on a regular basis. This one I was surprised of how well this one performed, and I do like the fact that it has a long shaft on it, but again, I just don't like the fact that it's a short handle, and I don't want to move up because then that would impede the room. I mean, this one would have to be a third. And the Prym one, just because it has no thumb rest, and if you think this is the thumb rest, it's going to jab into your hand like that. And I tend to use the knife grip versus some people use the pencil grip. I don't. I've always used the knife grip. So Prym, yeah, so if I had to rate, it's a tie. First place would be these two. Third would be for Big Twist. Fourth would be the Shwakk, excuse me. Fifth would be the Prym. Sixth would be Susan Bates, and seventh would be the traditional metal hook. So there you have it, folks. That is my review. Happy crocheting. I hope everyone enjoyed today's video. Oh, I almost forgot. I am thinking of broadcasting some progress videos of my current projects, and if they are well reviewed, I will make more of them. I happen to have one of these projects on hand. And this one I'm working on is for is for the Easter Bunny blanket I'm working on. I'm officially halfway done. Sorry about that. Let's drop some stuff. And I'm currently halfway done with the body of the blanket. And so once I complete the body and apply the border to it, I will show the completed project in a future video. So stay tuned. With that being said, I hope that everyone's day, afternoon, evening, and night goes well. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I want to remind everyone, this is a safe space for everyone, so please no negative or derogatory comments. On that note, take care of yourself and each other.